Okay, hi Addy, welcome to lesson number 52. This lesson is going to be really super fun for you. You are going to start out by doing 30 fractions to reduce. So you have 30 fractions to reduce in 5 minutes. Good luck with that. And then we're going to jump into the lesson. And it's going to be really fun, okay, Addy? Because it goes over mentally dividing decimal numbers by 10 and by 100. So this is where you're going to have to shift the decimal, or you can also think about it as shifting the numbers to a different place value. So however way is easier for you to think about it. But it's going to be really fun. I think you're going to catch on right away. So I really hope you enjoy this lesson, okay? Love you, Addy. Good luck with it. Get ready to reduce your fractions for 5 minutes, okay? Ready, set, go. Alrighty, hi there, Addy. Welcome to lesson number 52. This one is going to be really fun. We're going to be talking about mentally dividing decimal numbers. Mentally! Can you believe it? This is going to be so fun. By 10 and by 100. I think this is going to be a great, great lesson for us, okay? So, first of all, look at this. Mathematician food fights. Look at their food fights. Do you get it? Look what they're throwing at each other. Pie. This one got pie right in the face. Look at that. This one got it right in the face too. Oh my gosh. There's pie everywhere. It's pandemonium. Mathematician food fights. Hilarious, right? All right. All right. Let's jump right into mental math. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to count by 12s. And we're going to count by 12s all the way from 12 to 132. Let's see if we can do that. And okay, so you know that sometimes I need to do a little cheat sheet on these, right? Because basically what we're doing is counting our 12s times tables, right? When we do this. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put a little cheat sheet here. Okay, we're going to do 12 times 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6 times 7 times 8. And then I think that'll help me, okay? So 12 times 1. Okay, so we're going to do, let me get a different color. So we're going to do 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96. Okay, I didn't go far enough, right? What's 12 times 9, 12 times 10, 12 times 11, and 12 times 12? Let's go that far, okay? So we were at 96, and then 108, 120, 132, 144. I'm going to go one past that because that makes more sense to me. Should we do it again so we can go a little faster this time? I think we should. So 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96, 108, 120, 132, 144. Good job, Addy. All right, now the rest of mental math, you're going to be doing this in your own head mentally. All right, so 4 times 250, write your answer. B, 368 minus 150, write your answer. C, 250 plus 99. D is going to be $15 plus $7.50. E, what is 1/2 of 5? Write your answer. I know I'm going really fast, so if you need to pause it, go ahead and pause it so you can write things down. F, what is 20 times 40? Okay, and then G, let's do it here. We're going to do 5 times 10. Start with that number. Then add 4. Divide by 6. Multiply by 8. Add 3. And then divide by 3. All right, let's jump into problem solving. This one is a little tricky, I have to admit, Addy. So it says Alicia averaged 88% on her first 3 tests. What score does she need on her 4th test to have a 4-test average of 90%? Whew, that is a little tricky. So if I were doing this problem, let's see, she had 3 tests and she averaged 88. That means that she got some score, then we added another score, then we added another score. We divided it by 3 and we got 88. Then so it could have been that like she got 88 on each test, but she probably didn't, but just to make it easy, I'm going to think about it that way. Let's say she got 3 test scores and they were all 88. Okay, now she adds another test score to it that we don't know. So it has to, all of those, if you add them up and then you divide by 4, it has to equal 90. So something plus 88 plus 88 plus 88 divided by 4 has to be equal to 90. Maybe you do it a totally different way than me, so I'm curious to see how you do it. So that's all I'm going to say about that, and then I'll look at what you do with that information, okay, Addy? All right, I'm going to move on to the new concept. And the new concept, first I'm going to remind you of something, okay? And the reminder is this. You definitely need to know those vocabulary words. A quotient is an answer that you get when you divide. The dividend is the thing that you are dividing into pieces. And the divisor, is however many groups you're dividing it into. So that's important for you to know. So definitely, if you don't know that already, take some time and memorize it. Quotient is the answer you get. The dividend is what goes inside the division box, and the divisor goes out here. Okay, so when we divide a number by 10 or by 100, the quotient, remember that's up here, has the same digits as the dividend. That means the numbers themselves are not going to change. So if you take the number like, let me change this color, 453, and if you divide it by 10 or if you divide it by 100, the numbers are not going to change, but the value is going to change because you're going to change a decimal. But you don't change the actual numbers. They don't change because look at the numbers that you're dividing it by. You're dividing it by 10 or 100. That only has a 1 in it. That's not going to change these numbers. It's just going to change the decimal. For example, if you have 12.5, like you do here, 12.5, and you divide it by 10, what is the answer that you get? Well, you can do long division, and you'll see that 10 times 1 is 10. You get a 2. You bring down the 5. 10 goes into 25 twice. You could do it this way, and you will get the exact same answer. But you could also notice that this 1, 2, and 5 does not change. You have a 1, 2, and 5. And all you did was move the decimal. And in this situation, you moved it 1 place to the left. And now it ended up right here. See, it used to be here, and now it's here. So when you're dividing a number like this, what you could do in your head is think, I'm dividing 12.5. Am I going to end up with a smaller number or a bigger number? It's obviously going to be a smaller number because you're dividing it into 10 pieces. So I'm going to move the decimal 1 space to the left because it's a 10. I only need to change it 1 space. And then you'll get the right answer. Now let's look over here at this one on the right. Here you're taking 12.5, the same number as before, but you're dividing it by 100. And look at the answer. It's interesting. You still have the same numbers. You have a 1 and a 2 and a 5. The only thing that's changed is where the decimal is. So the decimal used to be here, and we moved it 2 spots to the left because this time you're dividing by 100 and there are 2 zeros. That tells you that you're going to have to move the decimal 2 points to the left. What they want you to think about, though, is instead of moving the decimal 2 points to the left, what you actually did is you moved the numbers. See, the decimal used to be here. You moved the numbers 1, 2, kind of like that. And same with this. You actually moved the numbers. The decimal used to be here. You moved it the numbers there. So you're kind of changing the place value. That's why they want you to think about it that way. When you divide by 10 and 100, you're not changing the numbers, but you're changing the place value of those numbers. All right, let's jump into some examples. Got that? Yeah, Malcolm gets it, but he's a genius, so it's hard to compare ourselves to a genius, even though you are probably just as smart as Malcolm. So when you get to his grade, you're going to know all the stuff he knows. So let's do example 1. Example 1 is 37.5 divided by 10. Since we're dividing by 10, the answer, is it going to be more than 37.5 or less than? It's going to be less than because we're dividing. We're breaking it up into smaller pieces. I'm going to write 37.5 really big here. So if we're making the number less or smaller, which way are we going to move the decimal and which way are we going to move the numbers? So we could move it that way, but that would end up being a bigger number, 375, so that's not right. So we're going to move the decimal 1 point to the right. If you divide by 10, this is the answer you get, 3.75, because you only shift the decimal 1 place to the left. Okay, let's move on to the next example, example 2, because that one was too easy for you, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's do the next one. Example 2 says, divide 3.75 divided by 100. So again, I'm going to write it really nice and big so you can see what we're doing. Now, the decimal point, I know it's going to move 2 spaces because we're dividing by 100. So is the answer going to get bigger or is it going to get smaller? I think it's going to get smaller because we're dividing that number, right? So we need to move it 2 spaces to, the decimal's going 2 spaces to the left. Now, that's tricky because when we move this 2 spaces over, we have to add an extra number here. So that's the trick on this one, is to add an extra number. When you add an extra number, you can see that it's going to be, that is going to be the answer. I'm just going to move this a little closer together so it looks nicer. But that is the answer. And usually when we have a decimal like that, we put a 0 in front of the decimal. That's just standard. I didn't really change the value at all, just to fill that empty place. So this is going to be the answer. 3.75 divided by 100 is going to be this. All right, that's it, Addy. That's the whole lesson for today, so not that complicated. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck doing your math, okay? Love ya. Bye.